Hello, hello, hello everybody. Welcome to my channel for day 4 of the 10 days of sketches. This is a sketch that I used. I found it on Pinterest and I think it may come from a Russian scrapbooking site. I'm not too sure. But that's the one. If you follow me on Pinterest, you'll find it there under my board. And so yeah, so I started with the photos, and if you took a look at the sketch, or if you pause that at all, you would see that the pictures in the sketch are square. Now these photos that I'm using are not square. They weren't taken in a square mode. And when I cut them down, I didn't want them to be square because I would ruin a lot of the composition of the photo. So I kept them, I squared them off a little bit, but they're rectangular in shape, but closer to a square. Does that make sense? Okay. So I dug deep again into the vault of papers and I mixed it up. I didn't use an entire collection for something. I chose bits and pieces. So that background paper, that purple one there, is from Pink Paisley's Summer Lights in number 2. And then that black and white sheet of pattern paper is from Jen Hadfield Cottage Living. And I think that one there was called Let's Visit or something along those lines. So these are some older papers that I used, right? So woo woo. Let's use up what we got, folks, right? And so after cutting down my papers, I matted them, and I'm just using a 6x. I'm using papers, the 6x6 pattern paper and pack. I can't talk this morning, from the Summer Lights collection. So I just chose a very basic gray and white pattern paper, and I also chose that wood grain, which you can't tell afterwards that it is wood grain. I kept the papers very minimal, and I did not do a lot of matting, like layering and matting. But I am using that, they're the frames from Poolside, the chipboard frames. I had a brand spanking new pack of them, an extra pack that I had picked up. And so I said, why not use those as my layers? And so that's what I'm doing here. And I'm also using bits and pieces of the pattern paper that I used to mat the smaller photos for the big one. So I did very simple layering. I didn't overthink it. I didn't go nuts. Plus the layout, the sketch, did not have layering. And so that's how I kind of made this sketch my own, was that I did what Lina does, is I layered. I matted my photo with many layers. So yeah, I'm using my hot glue gun because I'm finding lately that it's super accessible. It's always on when I'm sitting at my craft desk. It's ready to go. Mommy. And hi, Mama. You want to say hi? Can you say hi? Hi. Good girl. That's my little one. And so I'm going to use that larger rectangular Polaroid frame. It's not a Polaroid frame, but it's a frame, and kind of reminds me of the Polaroid, the way they're shaped with the thicker bottom. And I'm using that as part of my layering pieces as well. So yeah, this sketch, because of this sketch and how simple it was, this layout came together super easy, as you can tell by the timing on this layout. It's 10 minutes and 19 seconds for the entire video. That includes my intro and my outro and my photo stills and whatnot. So it came together rather quickly, and that's what I actually love about using a sketch, is that all the hard work is done for you. You really don't have to use too many brain cells. You just got to get stuff done and on paper as a sketch suggests, right? And so, you know, when I'm creating and I'm using sketches, like for an example with this series, it just makes life so much easier. Like, why not take the shortcut, right? At the end of the day, every sketch is going to look different. because the patterns you use are different. The pattern papers that you use are different, or the embellishments that you use are different, or, you know, the color scheme that you may use is different. So, you know, you could use the same sketch multiple times and still get a very different overall look every single time. So with this little photo here, this last one that I'm going to be gluing down, I wanted to prop it up a bit because of how it was sitting against the other layouts. It needed balance, and because one side of the photo was kind of lopsided, so that foam that I added behind it to one side made it very steady and very even. Now here I'm using my tab punch from We Are Memory Keepers, and I'm just cutting out some tabs from that same Pink Paisley collection, Summer Lights. I didn't go crazy with this collection. Like, I mean, I used what I had on my desk, and I kind of love that because A, I used paper up, right? That's probably not going to get used a whole lot more because, you know, we're always getting new stuff. But I mean, I cut into papers and I use them, which, you know, makes me happy. And B, I totally forgot what I was trying to say. Yeah, I didn't fuss with it too much. It's very simple. You'll see even from my embellishing that and the embellishments actually that I'm using, believe it or not, are from Crepe Paper Journey. Do you believe that? Again, I had another pack that was unopened, and I was like, you know what? Dig into this stuff, Lina. Like, we have to. We just have to. We can't be so wasteful and mindless about, you know, purchasing and putting things in the vault, right? So even the embellishments that I chose were minimalistic at best. You know, the sketch itself did not call for overcomplicated, you know, embellishing and too many clusters. It was very basic and straightforward. And I followed it for the most part, what I felt comfortable with. And then the rest is my own take. Like, I mean, you know, there were certain things like the journaling that was on that sketch that I didn't do, but instead I used the tiny words, right? For me, that's a good substitution. I'm sorry. I'm good with, you know, because number one, I love tiny words. My name is Lina, and I'm obsessed with tiny words. And, you know, B, I don't really journal too much. So here I am working on the title of my layout, and the title is composed of thickers in Dolce. So those are those white fabric-y kind of, those ones that I'm gluing down right now. And then the ones that say Latte are Dear Lizzie Treasure. So I mean, I had a whole pack of those still unused. They were the perfect shade of aqua. And they went with the matting, and you know, they just worked perfectly. It doesn't matter how old they are, they're still good. I'm still going to use them. And you know, like most things, but I mean, because these alphas were a little older, I felt the need to make sure that to add the extra adhesive because, well, you guys know why. For my new subscribers, welcome to my channel. And I glue things down, even if things have they're sticky backed and they've already got adhesive, I add more adhesive. So here I was contemplating on adding some extra pieces of embellishing and just kind of layering, and I said, you know what? No, not gonna do it. Gonna follow the sketch a little more closely. You know, it could be a combination of things. Maybe I just wasn't feeling the embellishment this day, or maybe just the embellishments that I was working with, you know, weren't fitting properly. It could have been a multitude of things, but for the most part, actually, I'm very content with the overall aesthetic of this layout. I didn't overcomplicate it. I just got things down, which makes me happy, because it means that I've, you know, tackled a set of pictures and documented a set of pictures. And now I can continue taking pictures and not worry about them, right? I've made room in my, you know, photo container storage thing. So there I am using the words, those tiny words as the journaling pieces. And I also want to say that off camera I added, it was like a frame star framer on that top cluster, just because I felt like it needed something else there, and it added that bit more gold glitter. I'm adding some gold Heidi shine, and that's it. My layout is done. Done like dinner. Hope you guys enjoyed my video. These are the stills. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys very soon for the next installment. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.